Hello viewers, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. I wanted to look at why Trump said what he said in the ABC interview when he actually said he would take information during an election from a foreign country. Okay, what's all that about? When I tuned in to start this reading, I got that this is all part of trying to normalize his behavior in the past. So it's resetting the boundaries in a way. Trump's always been one that pushes boundaries, as we know, and he seemingly gets away with it, although the latest polls would suggest otherwise. Now, so I'm going to look at why he did that. I'm also going to look at whether the GOP are worried about the erosion of norms, because it could well be their turn sometime in the future when a Democratic president or candidate says, yes, China provided some electoral polling data or whatever. So are they worried about this continual erosion of norms and how that might backfire on them in the future? I also read or heard about a comment that David Letterman made. Of course, Letterman, the late night talk show host, interviewed Trump over the many years, around 30 times. And he doesn't understand what's happened to Trump. He says he was always someone that pretended that he was wealthy. Everybody knew that he wasn't, but now he said he has turned psychotic and is basically a soulless bee. If you want to read that interview or look at what Letterman has to say, by all means Google that. So let's have a look at what's gone wrong, what changed. Now, quickly, if we've got time, let's have a look at Hope Hicks, who'll be testifying in front of the House. Won't be a televised testimonial. Testimony. It will actually be behind closed doors. But let's see if she's going to offer any further information. So let's get started with this. Trump again shifting the boundaries, trying to really normalise what has occurred in the past, because Mueller didn't have the evidence to prove conspiracy. Of course, Trump's going to milk that now for all it's worth. But do voters care? Do voters care? Let's start with why did Trump say that. I'm going to pull a 4-card reading. I used to do these very early on when I started reading for you. We'll have past, we'll have present, we'll have the challenge, and then we'll have the future. All right, let's have a look here. Why did Trump say that he would accept information from a foreign country during an election that would assist him in some way to win an election? Why did he actually say that? What was all of that about? Why did Trump say that he would accept information during an election from a foreign country? Okay, there's something else here that I'm getting. He may have already been making arrangements to do just that. Okay, let's have a look. The past, we've got the theft and betrayal card. For those that are following what tarot decks that I use, this is the deluxe tarot deck. Okay. The past, theft and betrayal. This is the Russia intervention in the American elections. And of course, it was more than just accepting polling data, wasn't it? It was actually hacking into voter systems, which is another thing, isn't it, altogether? All right, let's have a look. And I'm feeling some of the help that Trump will again be getting will be around social media. And it could be, again, help from Israel. I'm going to the Middle East here, or the Saudis even. Currently, we've got Trump being extremely battle-weary with the 9 of Wands here. So he's coming from a place, if you look at these 2 cards, where we've got the theft. We're acknowledging the theft. Let's not become blasé about that. We are acknowledging here the theft and the betrayal here, according to these cards, that has occurred in the past, documented in the Mueller report. Several examples. back and forth, back and forth. Russia aligning with the Trump campaign here to assist Trump get elected. As a result of all of that information that's come in the past, we've got Trump now really on the back foot. But there's something else here. At this point in time, this card would suggest that most of his weapons have been tied up here. He has been wounded. Is this someone that can wage a war? No. And that is the other insight that I got when I opened up for this reading. This is not just a war where you have foreign adversaries interfering here in democracy. You've also got the elements of a civil war too. Okay, so the challenge for Trump is to win with the Ace of Cups, is to win the hearts and the minds again of voters. Not that he did in the majority in the past, but he's trying to win people back to him. This is also an emotional ploy. If we look at why Trump says what he does, you'll find about 10 reasons. Of course, he may very well be lining up foreign interference, or we call it interference, foreign assistance in the future for 2020, but he's also trying to reset the norms, and this is what all that is about. I just want to say this, it's a dulling of emotions. It's fatigue, and of course this is the other aspect to the Nine of Wands. It's fatigue has set in, and people are switching off. The challenge is people are switching off emotionally. Now in Australia, we've just had some research from the Guardian newspaper suggesting that Australians are turning off the news because it is so negative. Is this what's happening in America? I'd suggest it actually is. So Trump is playing on all of those things. Now the future card is the Three of Wands. He's going for expansion, he's going for commerce, and he's going for help from foreign countries here. And I'm getting a big draw to the Middle East. So let's keep going. Theft and betrayal. All about the winning here with the Four of Wands. All about the winning. Okay, so this again is uppermost in his mind. Now, here we get to some interesting elements of this narrative. Because we've got the Eight of Wands, we've got, under the Battle Weary card, we've actually got in this particular deck, and I really do I do enjoy using this deck, we've got a meteor coming out of the sky and hitting the earth. And this is things coming forward very, very quickly. This is threatening to break down the defences of the Trump government and, of course, the Trump campaign in the future. Let's see where that will lead. Resetting the emotions is not going to work because we've got the Nine of Pentacles here, suggesting that people are fed up. They've seen through the, let's just call it the swamp in DC. Many, many examples, cabinet leaders doing deals for their relatives' companies, doing deals to get people re-elected by pushing things into electorates, etc. We've seen Wilbur Ross. I mean, isn't that an absolute joke as a cabinet secretary? Steve Mnuchin, another one. Voters are not going to be fooled again by Trump. And I'm also going to the farmers who have been hurt by the tariffs. Commerce and expansion, is that going to work? It's suggesting that with this Ten of Wands, someone is going to meet a fairly painful downfall and ending here. And I do go back to something that I talked about yesterday. I can't remember which reading it was in. So, of course, this is the challenge. Don't forget, this is the challenge, winning over the hearts again, and trying to sidestep the perceptions of the Trump government being just all about self-interest and business here. Trump's presidency ending. I think Michael Wolff, as I mentioned, has written a second book suggesting that the Trump presidency will end in tears. It'll be Trump's tears. That particularly resonated for me because when you see someone going downhill as in the way that Trump is, it's very painfully obvious to all of us, that unless a miracle happens, justice really is going to catch up with Trump. But let's keep going. Now, the past. It's become hard work here to have this win again, to really go through the same process as what he did in 2016. It's just going to be extremely hard for him to do that under the circumstances. All right. We've got the Hierophant, the government and the courts, things coming forward very quickly. I think this is suggesting that eventually Trump will be either impeachment processes will start or all the law, the Mueller handoff investigations are going to catch up with Trump. Things coming forward very quickly. The challenge for Trump, overcoming the loss. People feel betrayed. This Three of Swords is also the card of divorce. People are moving away. Look at this challenge column. People are moving away from Donald Trump because they are seeing through the fog. Okay, so the future card, we've got the first card, well, zero, it's not even the first card in the tarot, the Magician is. This is the Fool setting off on a new journey. This is new beginnings. So really, when you look at the future, we've got the aim for Trump was to actually, I guess, align, collaborate again. I feel that he's already, we'll ask the question, he may already be tic-tacking with another foreign country about assistance in 2020. Don't forget McConnell's not moving that bill either. Maybe we should, the bill to strengthen up in front of 2020 to ensure that we don't have a repeat of 2016. I feel that this has already been under arrangement or certainly talked about according to these cards. But in the meantime, what we've got happening is this. So what's hidden from our view is the Emperor card. And I say again, the Emperor card, don't underestimate Trump at all. Letterman wants to know why he's become psychotic, or as Letterman sees it, psychotic. Trump is sitting at the pinnacle of his power as the Emperor. And, people have said in the past that they call his nickname is Don the Con. There is someone quite dangerous, shall I say, potentially dangerous with the multiple lying, etc. I don't need to go through that. We've seen all that. But he now, he occupies the presidency of the United States. So let's not underestimate him. Okay, let's have a look at, let's have a quick check-in with the GOP, because are they going to allow this, these norms to be overridden, because it could one day come back on them. Interestingly enough, Justin Amash, who suggested Trump should be impeached, has now left the Freedom Caucus, which he helped set up. So again, we saw it with Bob Corker, we saw it with Jeff Flake, we saw it with anyone who came out against Trump being ostracised. But there's something more. I think Justin Amash will be okay. I really do. I think that he's strong enough to be okay. Corker and Flake both in the Senate, and I think they were worn down by the end of it. And this is a different era as well to 2017. The power leverages have shifted following the midterms. So, are the GOP worried about this erosion of norms, that it someday might come back to bite them. And then we'll ask why Mitch McConnell isn't putting forward that voting security, 2020 voting security legislation. Okay, so is the GOP worried? Look, honestly, I don't think I'm just getting no, but I honestly think they're living in this moment. You know, they're doing as much. Their efforts are focusing on the census, trying to get that question through, trying to set up electorates and gerrymander, voter suppression, all of those things. You know, they're the party that will have become the party of the dirty tricks. All right. Are the GOP worried? Oh no, but I'm getting something else. I'm also getting that there are sections of the GOP that are concerned about this erosion of standards and values and ethics. Okay, are the GOP worried about this erosion of norms? Are they worried about what Trump has done that may come back to bite them in the future in relation to dragging their party down? Are the GOP worried at all about the dragging down of their party by Trump? This erosion of norms here could come back to bite them. GOP, are they worried? Okay, so the past, of course, they were strong when Trump won, or apparently so. They had strength. They felt they had strength. Okay, this is the blood rush to the head. We won. We're in power. We've seized power. Okay, right at the moment, though, they're working at this point in time with the Eight of Pentacles to hold on to power. What are they challenged by? Trump, the businessman. Okay, so this is, will they be successful in 2020? So they're worried. They're worried that Trump's baggage, Trump's past, what Trump's doing, could cost them in 2020. The challenge is also them and what they've taken and what they've done in relation to putting monetary concerns in front of ethics and values. The future secrets to be revealed. Okay, so there will be, obviously, in the wash-up, the GOP will have to be accountable. But this is also showing, I talked about, you know, from their point of view, they're actually worried about these secrets coming out. I'll just bring the laptop down. Okay, the strength. You know, this was the Chariot. This was a ride, a hell of a ride for the GOP. The Chariot, I think, comes after the Lovers, and it's almost like the deal was made and the journey was on. There would have been knowledge, including when Mitch McConnell was briefed by Barack Obama's government about the interference. They knew there was interference there, and so there was obviously a deliberate plan there, or planning and strategy, to take this through, to hold on to power. Okay, so the Queen of Wands, they're working against, now this is the obstruction in the Senate. This is the centerpiece of their plan. Obstruct, 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 to really hide the truth. This is all about Russia here, interfering in 2016. Their challenge is the King of Cups here. So this is suggesting also that they are... The King of Cups really is the father figure, the supportive father figure. It's right underneath the business card, the Donald Trump, the businessman, or the businessman potentially. This is a challenge for them, that they're not being seen this way anymore. They're not a party that is benignly intended. They've actually become quite rogue, quite extremist. This is an alt-right party here that is distancing themselves from the average voter here, and particularly women. We've got loss here in the future for the GOP, and it's going to be a pretty bad loss, because the Five of Cups comes forward, following almost somebody, really losing everything, losing extreme loss, and this is straight under the secrets to be revealed. Okay, so They are being restricted now. They were restricted as soon as the Democrats took the House. Their ride came to an end. Okay, the Seven of Wands, they're having to defend themselves now. The King of Cups, the Four of Cups, suggesting there's disappointment here. I particularly like this card because something has been spilt here, and it's there for everybody to see. And we've got loss in the future for the GOP. So are they worried? Their challenge here is Donald Trump itself. It's also the perception of the party, and it's also disappointment in how things have played out. What's hidden from our view, of course, is the Two of Pentacles, which is juggling things and potential manipulation. So no, I don't think the GOP generally the GOP that are running the party, perhaps not all the GOP, because we've had good people come out and speak against what's going on, but they're worried more about that they won't be able to hold on to power. And that's quite a legitimate worry for them, because there seems to be quite a lot of loss and heartache in the future for the GOP. Okay, so why isn't Mitch McConnell? I'll do this question and then I'll shut this down, and I'll read separately on Hope Hicks and why Donald Trump. I want to follow through on that Letterman quote about Trump potentially being psychotic. Why did he change from someone? Well, see, I'm not sure he did. You know, we had him come out with that when 5 young African Americans and 1 Latino, I think, were charged with the rape of the white woman in New York, and he took out a full-page ad calling for the death penalty. And of course, those boys were innocent, ended up innocent, spent significant time behind bars before their innocence was proven. So, you know, really, has he changed? I'd have to question that. But we can drill down. Okay. All right, so why isn't Mitch McConnell? Mitch McConnell, let me just shuffle these cards. Why isn't Mitch McConnell bringing forward the 2020 voter security legislation? Why is he refusing to bring that to the floor? Okay, why is Mitch McConnell refusing to bring that legislation to the floor that would secure the election in 2020 from foreign interference in the way that we saw in 2016? Why is he refusing? Okay, so I'm getting the death card here. So I'm getting that that this always comes up in relation to the Trump government, the ending of his government. In some way, bringing that legislation forward would be admitting, or would be, I guess, putting seriousness toward what happened in 2016 at the very time that the Republicans are trying to normalise this, say nothing to see here, etc. But there could be something else. Let's see what the cards have to say. Why? Why isn't Mitch McConnell bringing that legislation forward? I just got the word he's dirty. Okay, so, I got the word dirty. All right, so interesting. In the past, we've got anxiety, worry and anxiety. That could be the electorate. Has Mitch McConnell been worried and anxious? He doesn't appear so. So we've got in the past worry and anxiety. Could be about winning in 2016. Right at the moment, we've got illusion, delusion. We've got trying to put up a smoke screen. So this is the card of not wanting to give credence to what happened in 2016, and bringing that legislation forward would say yes, something really detrimental occurred in 2016 that we've got to fix in the Senate. That he's not going to do this. He's trying to cloud the situation. But I also got the impression, or got the word, McConnell is dirty. Look at the colour of this smoke here. Somebody that's that's really putting their political ambitions and need to hold on to power in front of what is good for America is dirty. Okay, so the challenge here. So the challenge is seduction. We talked about the Knight of Cups here. This is something being offered here to McConnell, offered to the Republicans. I wonder how much talk there has been between the Trump and the Republicans and foreign governments, particularly Saudis, Israel, etc. Dirty. I just got the word dirty. In the future, we've got the Seven of Wands, self-defense. Past here, we've got relocation, moving on. It's interesting. And we've got in the present disappointment. These smoke screens aren't holding. And we've got the challenge here. Mitch McConnell as the manipulator took the offer, continuing to manipulate. And we've got the Eight of Cups, suggesting there will be loss in the future for Mitch McConnell, defending oneself, walking away. Will he stand in 2020? My last reading on McConnell showed he would likely lose if he did. Okay, battle weariness here in the past. Now this could be the recent past for McConnell. He's been under a fairly consistent attack, and rightly so. Some people are saying he's actually worse than Trump. At this present time, though, strength and endurance. So I feel that he thinks he's showing that by not bringing this legislation forward. The challenge, of course, though, is that he is betraying and potentially betraying his country through the manipulation here. And the future, we've got some news here regarding McConnell. This has already come out, but I think there's more to come. I feel that this because the Knight of Cups, which is the offer, the seduction, came up. I feel that McConnell has been compromised by Russia and others as well. So in some ways, his fate is linked to Donald Trump, and potentially we've got the Eight of Swords suggesting what's hidden from our view. McConnell's going to be restricted. McConnell, there's an element of imprisonment here. Whether McConnell will be imprisoned or not, I don't know. These are tarot cards. I don't read on conspiracy theories. But I read what the cards are bringing forward. McConnell is going to be restricted in some way. He's going to have a loss in the future. He's going to have to defend himself. He is pictured with that Eight of Cups walking away. Now, I know we're at 27 minutes, but I do, and this is a long reading, but I do, it's almost like there's something unanswered here, and that is a quick yes-no reading on whether Trump and the Republicans have been talking with other foreign governments for assistance in the election in 2020. And I go back to Israel providing assistance on social media. They may not necessarily be talking to Russia, but they may be talking with international kind of firms. The fact that Trump made that comment would suggest that they could be. Let's have a good shuffle of these cards, and we'll do a quick reading to finish. A quick reading to finish. Has Trump already been talking? Trump and the Republicans already been talking to foreign governments about assistance with the campaign in 2020. Foreign governments assistance 2020. Has Trump and the Trump White House and potentially some of the GOP been talking to their contacts, their foreign contacts, foreign countries about help in 2020? It's a dirty state of affairs, isn't it? So we've got loss here being a prime motivator. We've got being isolated at this point in time. I think it's pretty clear with those opinion polls being so badly reflecting on Trump. This isn't just a few percentage points. This is huge. 13 points being so skewed against Trump. I think there's a feeling that they're pretty isolated. The challenge is choice, and again, throwing up those illusions. Are they talking already? We've got the government here, the Hierophant card. The Hierophant card, the Pope. Either the government, they're worried about what's going to be coming out. We've got the Sword of Truth here coming out, which is further isolating them. And we've got Donald Trump, the Emperor here under the Seven of Cups. The Eight of Wands coming through again. The Ten of Cups suggesting wanting to, or this is my card for the American voter. And we've got the Magician. Of course we have the Magician. So yes, but Wheel of Fortune's turning against them, so they're up against time. And we've got the Trump organisation, Trump, the businessman, the dynastic wealth. What's hidden from our view is new starts. Look, it's possible. It's possible they're talking already. They've had conversations, which is not a stretch really, given that they're already fulfilling multiple agendas here for alliances, those they are aligned with. But it is all designed, if they are talking, they would be doing so. Now, no conspiracy was found on the evidence that was currently in the Mueller report at this point in time. Those even meetings with the Russian ambassador, all the things that are outlined, there were no charges brought against anyone for conspiracy with that evidence. What does that suggest? That you could potentially get the assistance of foreign countries in ways that wouldn't provoke a charge of conspiracy. So again, the stretching of the norms, the stretching of the ethics. Where will it end? Well, these cards seem to suggest that the Mueller investigation and the subsequent investigations in the House are pointing to a loss, a huge loss for Donald Trump. So I'm going to leave it there, and the Republicans, of course, and you saw Mitch McConnell's cards. I wouldn't like having those cards at this point in time. So I'll leave it there, viewers. I'll close down. I'll do a quick reading on Hope Hicks and see what... some people have said she might be the Queen of Cups that keeps coming forward. She might be the person that takes down Trump. Who knows? Let's have a look at this next reading. Thank you very much for tuning in.